Hello everyone, welcome back to EduGrowth classes. This is Soumya and today we would be doing the topic GDP and welfare from macroeconomics class 12. Now if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe the channel. Now first we'll understand the meaning of GDP. GDP means gross domestic product and it is widely used indicators of economic performance. So you must have heard in news or around you people saying that GDP has increased. So what is GDP? GDP basically it measures national economy's total output of goods and services in the given period. जितने भी production of goods and services economy में होता है, so GDP measures that total output. So if total output increases, so we say GDP has increased in the economy. Now second term is welfare. Welfare means the state of doing well, especially in respect to good fortune, happiness, well-being or prosperity. It means sense of material well-being among the people. It depends on greater per availability of goods and services in the economy. So higher GDP is generally taken as greater welfare of the people. Now what is welfare? Welfare means that people are happy, people are prosperous, and it also means sense of material well-being, that everyone is getting goods and services in the economy. So generally we say if GDP is increasing, welfare of the people is also increasing. Now can we generalize the statement that if GDP is higher, it would always increase the welfare of the people? Now let's discuss this. So we cannot generalize the statement because we have many reasons for that. We cannot say that if GDP is increasing, so welfare of the people will always increase. So let's discuss the reasons one by one. First is non-monetary exchanges. Now we know GDP measures goods and services produced in the economy during a particular period of time. कि एक particular period of time में कितने goods and services produce हो रहे हैं, that is GDP. Now however it does not take into account those transactions that do not come under monetary terms. अब जिन ट्रांजेक्शन्स की कोई मॉनेटरी वैल्यू नहीं है, दैट वोंट बी इंक्लूडेड इन जीडीपी. कौन सी ट्रांजेक्शन्स होती हैं ऐसी? द ट्रांजेक्शन्स आर लाइक एक्टिविटीज ऑफ हाउसवाइफ, सर्विसेज ऑफ हाउसवाइफ, किचन गार्डनिंग, and leisure time activities. Now these activities are not included in GDP, but these activities are providing welfare to the people. They are giving happiness to the people. So in less developed countries, there are non-monetary exchanges, particularly in rural areas. There housewives and kitchen gardening, these are the activities which are done by the women because they are not working outside. So they are doing household activities. So non-monetary exchanges which increases the welfare of the people, but they are not included in the GDP. Second is inflation. GDP does not take into account the level of prices in the country. Because of inflation, the cost of living increases, leading to decrease in standard of living. Now what happens if we calculate nominal GDP? GDP increases due to increase in prices, due to which cost of living also increases and the standard of living is decreasing. People are losing their welfare. The loss of welfare is there due to decrease and it is not considered while calculating GDP as an index of welfare. Third reason is externalities. This is very important and it comes individually in exam also, that what do you mean by externalities? Externalities refer to benefits or harms of an activity caused by a firm or an individual for which they are not paid or penalized. तो कुछ एक्टिविटीज होती है, एक्सटर्नल एक्टिविटीज होती हैं जो बेनिफिट्स देती हैं या हार्म करती है सोसाइटी को, इंडिविजुअल को, फॉर विच दे आर नॉट पेइंग और कोई पेनल्टी भी नहीं लग रही है उन पे. For example, let us understand from an example. Now we have two types of externalities: positive externality, negative externality. So if we talk about positive externality, the activities which would give benefits. For example, use of public parks for pleasure. Now whenever you're visiting a public park, you're not paying any fee, but you are getting welfare from that. Okay, so this is positive externality which is increasing the welfare of the people. Second is negative externality. Environmental pollution caused by industries. So we are not imposing any penalty on these industries, but they are giving us a negative impact. They are decreasing welfare. On the other hand, positive externalities increasing welfare. Now, these activities are not considered while calculating GDP. GDP fails to consider the cost of valuations of such factors because GDP is not taking into account positive externality or negative externality. So, activities which result in benefits to others are termed as positive externalities, and activities which result in harm to others, they are called negative externalities. Now, next reason is distribution of GDP. GDP disregards the income distribution pattern. The increase in aggregate national income may be result of increase in income of few individuals only. Thus, this may lead to false interpretation of social welfare. Now, for example, we are evaluating GDP based on the income of 5 people. Income of first is 10,000, income of second person is 10,000, income of third person is 10,000, income of fourth is also 10,000, and income of fifth is 1 lakh. But if we take out average income, that will be 1,40,000 divided by 5, which is 28,000. So if we see that average income is coming 28,000, but this is only because income of fifth person is 1 lakh, rest they are earning 10,000 only. So the same thing comes when we are calculating GDP. Maybe income of only few people is increasing, but maximum people are on the lower side of the income. So this may give false interpretation of social welfare. Next reason is composition of GDP. Now GDP ignores the welfare component as goods and services produced may or may not add welfare to the society. For example, production of goods like guns, narcotic drugs, high-end luxurious goods increase the monetary value of production, but they do not add welfare of majority of population. Now for example, जो इन्होंने दिया है कि जो goods हैं जैसे guns हैं, drugs है, हाई एंड लग्जरियस गुड्स है, ये वैल्यू ऑफ जीडीपी तो इंक्रीज कर रहे हैं, प्रोडक्शन तो हो ही रही है गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज की, बट आर दे इंक्रीजिंग वेलफेयर ऑफ द पीपल? The answer is no. They are not adding to the welfare to majority of the population. So from this point also we can say that increment of GDP would not necessarily increase the welfare of the people. Now last point is rate of population growth. GDP does not consider the changes in population of the country. जब भी हम GDP evaluate करते हैं, we won't consider that population is increasing or decreasing. If the rate of population growth is higher than the rate of growth of GDP, अगर जितनी तेजी से लोग बढ़ रहे हैं उतनी तेजी से GDP नहीं बढ़ रही है, then it will decrease the per capita availability of goods and services, which will adversely affect the economic welfare. So जिस रेट पे पॉपुलेशन इंक्रीज हुई है, अगर उस रेट पे जीडीपी इंक्रीज नहीं हो रहा है, उस रेट पे गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज जो है इकोनॉमी में वो इंक्रीज नहीं हो रहे हैं, तो सब लोगों को अवेलेबल नहीं होंगे वो गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज, जिसकी वजह से उनकी जो वेलफेयर है वो इफेक्ट होगी, दैट वुड बी नेगेटिव, दैट वुड बी adversely affected. So rate of population is not considered while calculating GDP, but it affects the welfare of the people. Thank you for watching everyone. Like, share and subscribe the channel.